I never really got into it, but my real introduction where I got fascinated with chess was actually at a pool hall because people in the pool hall would play chess sometimes, but there was this one guy who went to jail. And in jail, he learned how to play chess with his head in his mind. And then there was a young kid who was a grandmaster who was like 16, 17 years old, somewhere around then. Really, really good chess player who kind of like lost his way and started hanging around in pool halls and gambling and being a weirdo. And I watched these two guys play chess with just words. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what? I was like, I think I was 22 or 23 at the time. And I was like, what are you doing? And they were explaining to me that they're playing chess, memorizing the board in their head. And I'm like, that's fucking crazy. And then I saw a video of you blindfolded playing how many people? How many people did you play? What was the most people you've ever played blindfolded?
I think I've played 12, but the world record is something like 50. It's that's crazy.
Like 12. You played 12 people blindfolded.
Yeah. For me, that's as long as people are the people I'm playing are kind of decent at chess. That actually kind of makes it easier because it's easier to store the games when I recognize the patterns and so on. When people start making weird moves that I cannot really recognize.
Here you are.
Oh, so this is another one actually. This is a blindfold timed simul. Like there are fewer games, but what's difficult about these is that the moves do not come to me in a sequence. So like the presenter will tell me on board 2, e takes d5, and then all of a sudden on board 1, e6, and then on board 2 again, and so on. So that makes it a bit.
So you have to jump back and forth. So in the other games, there's a sequence where the player, even though if they know what move they're going to take, they must wait until their turn.
Exactly. That's kind of the normal way of playing playing a simul. I think the last time that I played a proper blindfold simul was at an event in Vienna back in I think 2015, and then I had some very nice but spicy Chinese food before the game. I sat down and like my stomach was acting up. I couldn't think, so I played for 10 minutes. I realized that I cannot do this. I ran away for 15 minutes and then I came back. I finished the game. But ever since that, it feels like I've done it, and now it just seems incredibly hard to do again. But
do you prepare when you're doing something like this? When you're getting ready to do a blindfolded multi-game thing?
Not really, because it's like if my mind is on, then it's really not that hard, I feel. So no, the preparation that I do is right there. I see my opponents, so like I assign a certain face to a certain seat, like a certain number, and so on. So that's just about what I do.
So you assign their face, and you think of their face as they're playing.
Yeah. Face, like number 1, it's that position.
Right.
Yeah, and so on.
And what are you seeing in your mind when you're envisioning the table? When you're looking at the board, are you merely thinking of positions? Or are you actually thinking of the pieces? Like, how are you breaking it down?
No, I just see the chessboard in my head.
Just see it completely 3D chessboard in your head.
Yeah. So it's and then when I'm playing a simul, I just really think about one at a time, and I kind of store the others away. And
but that's so crazy. Like when you're 5-6 moves in and you're thinking of all these pieces moving around, and you've got it remembered. You've completely memorized each position of 12 different boards.
Yeah. So like the difficult part of it, that where things sometimes go wrong, is that so generally I remember all the games that I've played, but I don't remember every move. I remember like in broad strokes what happened. And this is what can happen in these blindfold games as well sometimes. Like I can remember everything that's going on, but maybe there's a pawn on the side that I cannot remember if it moved one square or not. That's the thing that can be that can be difficult. And I do. We used to have these blindfold like professional tournaments actually. That used to be like both fun but also totally exhausting. And then we would play on a computer, so we'd have like a blank chessboard where we would just click from one square to another, and then whenever your opponent moved, their move would pop up on the screen. And I've had and also the software will tell you if you're making an illegal move. So I've had people like lose track and then you see them just clicking frenetically, trying to figure out what the position was. Like there was one guy whom I played, like he thought his rook was on a certain file, and if it was on that file, he would be able to save a draw. So I think he tried every single rook move on that file, hoping that the rook was there. But like obviously I knew that it wasn't. But yeah, overall I feel like, honestly, like blindfold chess is a bit of a party trick in the sense that for the very top players, it's not that hard. But obviously, for like serious chess players, it seems incredibly incredibly hard. But I'm sure that, for instance, like solving Rubik's Cube is really, really easy for those who know how to do it quickly, right?
Yeah.
But it still looks incredibly impressive for outsiders.